All right, welcome back to We Die Like Men. Again, I'm Mike. People may ask, why do you say that every time? Well, because there's new people that watch a new video. Some people only watch one video. Probably saying, who is this idiot? Well, at least they can say that Mike guy's an idiot. Why? I say who I am. And I don't forget who I am. I'm terrible with names. Give me a break. It is shortly after Mother's Day. Hope you did something nice for your mother or your wife, if she's a mother, whatever the case may be. Um, Sisters, whatever. Summer's on the way. It's, getting towards the middle of May here. What do we got? 64 degrees. About 2:30 in the afternoon here in southern Maine. Not a bad day. It's a little overcast. Actually, it's mostly cloudy, really. That's saying mostly cloudy, and when I looked outside last, it was. Um, but thoughts is really starting to turn towards summer. We've got, Memorial Day coming right up, 4th of July, uh, Labor Day, things like that. But we also have Father's Day. Um, for me, all of those holidays mean, and summer weekends, mean one thing in particular. I'm cooking. I'm cooking a ton of food for a bunch of people, and we're having some damn good food. Barbecue and things like that. Out on my deck, which is just beyond, well, you can kind of see the bluish gray curtain there. There's a door that goes out on my deck. Right out there. And we have a lot of fun out there. And Mother's Day, we had, let's see, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 of us here. I think it was 10 of us here. Unfortunately, my mother couldn't make it down. It's 2.5 hours one way, and she turns 80 in July, so she doesn't drive down here much. She'll be down Memorial Day. We're having a party for something different too, but um, I like to cook. I love cooking. I love being outdoors, either cooking in the kitchen or outside. What what that means for me is the smoker's going. I have a pellet smoker. I get that to some of you purists, that's not barbecue. That's not a smoker. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. You need chips. You need logs. You need this. Look, I get that, and if I had unlimited amount of time and energy to just sit there and slowly stoke and feed that thing, I would love it. I don't. For me, a lot of the stuff when I do briskets or Boston butts or things like that, they go overnight. They go all night long while I'm sleeping. I have a temperature probe that I bought. It's got two probes that come off it. You can program the temperatures you want. It's got some presets so you can do custom ones. And it Bluetooths to my phone, which is right beside my bed. My bed happens to be right over there, so I'm pointing that way. Um, and if the temperature goes too high or too low or whatever, it sets an alarm off, wakes me up. I walk out, I check what's going on. Um, it's got a 20 pound, a little over 20 pound hopper, but 20 pound bag of pellets fits just great with it or in it, and that'll go all night for me. At about 180 to 225, I have no problems. At 225, especially if it's cooler or raining, the rain hitting the smoker pulls some heat away. It tends to have to burn a little more pellets. Then I'm getting kind of low by, I put it in a lot of times like 8 o'clock at night. I'm up 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I usually got plenty of pellets left. So I love having one. I bought a Cabela's brand. Actually, it was a Father's Day gift about 5 years ago now, I guess. Maybe something like that, 4 or 5 years ago. Um, it it gets used year round. It stays on my deck all year long. Um, I literally love it. Almost all my bacon gets done on that thing. And I have a big, like the Blackstone flat top griddle, four, five. It might be a five burner. I can't remember. I use it, and I don't even remember. Propane one. It's a Members Mark. It's from Sam's Club. It's the same thing. One of my sisters has a Blackstone, and I've cooked on hers, and I've cooked on this, and why she's done the same. We're both like, I don't notice any difference other than the price. Hence the reason when I got the smoker as a Father's Day gift, I was told, let's go out, pick one out. So I went out with the wife, kids, blah blah blah, and picked one out. This one is pretty good size. I'd have to take measurements, but I can put two large turkeys in it 4 pretty good sized Boston butts. I probably could do 3 turkeys if I really wanted, but turkeys are kind of wide and tall. They just it has a second little back shelf for it, almost like a warming shelf or whatever you want to call it. I can easily put. Let me see here. 3, 6, probably about 25 to 30 chicken thighs on it, depending on how big they are. So it's good size. Um, there was a Traeger that was one size down. It wasn't a lot small. It was like 8 or 9 square inches less. That was like 640-ish dollars. This one was 400. I think it was a little under. Was on sale. Might have been like 385, 390. They didn't have a Traeger exact size. They had one that was about 12 or 14 square inches bigger, which, was nice. Was 800 ish. I couldn't see the point. I'd never had this style smoker. I'd had the cabinet style that's propane. It's got the little firebox. You put moistened wood chips in it and it smokes. And that was great, but I wanted something better. So we bought this. I didn't have $800 right there at the time, really, or want to spend that. Um, it's been amazing. Pellet wise, I have tried Walmart's, I've tried Cabela's, um, Tractor Supply. I have tried at Walmart. I've tried something grill. I can't think of the brand name now. They sell a lot of their products. Great Grill or so, I don't know, whatever it is. Um, I've tried the Traeger brand. I've tried Cuisinart brand. Tried a lot of just the compressed pellets. They're kind of shiny. They're sawdust, so it's natural wood that's held together with a food grade starch, rice or potato starch, and it's compressed like a pill would be like an ibuprofen or Tylenol type pill. It was this compressed powder, super hard compressed, and they vary a little bit in length. And of all of them I've tried, the worst has been that Walmart, that Great Grill or whatever the hell it is. Um, those ones jammed up. The flavor was eh. It burned through them really fast. They don't seem to burn well. Price wise, they were probably the cheapest. They weren't worth it. Um, the Traeger and Cuisinart ones were fine. They were just very expensive. Tractor Supply one was all right. They didn't have much variety, but they were good. The price was for a 40-pound bag was like $15. Not bad. Um, I go right back to Cabela's and I buy their 20-pound bags. They're $8.99 a bag here in Maine, and they're great. I can get apple or cherry or hickory or mesquite or a barbecue blend that they've got. It's a competition blend, and sometimes they have a oak, like a white oak or red oak or something like that. They have some specifically for wild game, some specifically for fish, whatever. And they say specifically for wild game or fish. You can probably use them for whatever, but they just work. Sometimes I like to blend flavors together, types of pellets together. If you're only smoking for 2 hours, 3 hours or less, it doesn't really matter because you'll get the smoky flavor, but you don't get the minute intrinsic tastes of the different flavor of species of trees. Bougie sounding, I know. If you're going to smoke a long time, then I find I can sense a little difference. More smell, but a lot of our taste is done by smell. So we we'd stick a lot with the hickory, the apple, and the cherry, and their competition blend. I guess is what it's called. It's a great one. I don't know exactly who puts in it, but it's good. They have a maple bourbon one, maple brown sugar bourbon or bourbon brown, whatever it is. It's a brown sugar bourbon, or I think is what it is. Maybe not maple. Brown sugar bourbon. That's a good one too. Um, that one I actually like with brisket, but it goes good with any of them. I don't do briskets a lot because, well, they're kind of pricey. But having something like that, dude, if you're a guy, you gotta have a grill. I don't care if it's a cheap Weber charcoal briquette. kettle grill. I don't care what a little hibachi that sits up on a picnic table, whatever it is. You got to have one. You got to know how to use it. Man, figure out how to cook on that. The rest of the cooking becomes easy. I like my flat top too because I can. Sometimes I just have it turned on with things setting on it in pans to keep it warm. I have it on low. Other times I'm actually cooking burgers, or I like the burgers on the smoker because I like that smoke flavor. I've done my bacon on there. Veggies, if I want to saute up peppers and onions to go with sausage, it's great right on there. Some butter, some seasonings down. Clean it when you're done, and it cleans easy. I clean it with water. Literally get a hot water. I got a scraper. Burn it off. Let it cool. I have a silicone mat cover that goes over it. Done. Um, it's super simple. It's one of the easiest things you'll ever do. It is once you learn how to do it. Takes a little technique. You can take a cheap piece of meat. There is no such thing anymore, really. Whatever. Like a brisket. Brisket's expensive because of the size usually. Pulled pork, Boston butts, pork shoulder, things like that. Not a smoked shoulder, but a fresh picnic shoulder. Um, and man, you can turn them into super tender, delicious food by slow time. Now I like to brine my Boston butts. It's easy. Look it up. The ingredients are basic for to constitute a brine. It's water, salt, and sugar. Those three things. They help make it much more moist and tender. I don't know how much it tenderizes it. It keeps it moist, which helps it from getting tough. Um, and then you just add whatever seasonings in you want, and as it brines, it pulls it in. Don't under brine. The first thing a brine does is pull moisture out of the meat. If you pull it out during that time, it's dry as a bone. You got to let it sit until it sucks it all back in, and that's when it draws flavors in. Mine is salt, sugar, usually white sugar and brown sugar, water, apple cider vinegar, not a ton, but a bit, and then whatever. I usually have black peppercorns, mustard seeds. Um, I'm trying to think of what else I like to put in there. You can put in citrus. You can put in apple juice. You can put in orange juice. You can whatever you want. You want it hot and spicy. You can put frickin' hot sauce in there at that point. You can throw in cayenne peppers. You can throw in habaneros, ghost peppers, whatever your taste is. And whatever I'm going to use for a rub, I'll put some of that in the brine too. Let it. I make a small batch on the stove. I don't even have to bring it to a boil. I get it hot enough so it dissolves the salt and sugar as much as you can, and gets those seasonings that you've put in there to start kind of breaking down and leaching their flavors out. And then you need to cool it because it's got to be cold. Add the rest of your water, ice, things like that. What I did is I went right out to Walmart and the Igloo coolers. If you've ever played sports, worked at a construction site, been on a company outing, you probably had them. They're the round coolers. The round lid pops off. You got the little spigot on the bottom where you put the cup on. You push the button and water comes out, or Gatorade, or whatever it is. They were $24, I think. I have two of them. I have a blue one and I think it's an orange one or yellow or whatever it is, red. They're perfect. I put all the crap in there. I put my meat in there. I put all the brine in there. Well, usually what I'll do is put the brine in there after I've cooled it down as much as I can. The ice, the cold water, let that get cold. Take my meat out of the fridge, stick that in there. I'll pack it the rest of the way up the top with ice. You don't want to dilute your brine too much. So, but I'll try to make my brine like in the morning, knowing I'm going to brine that night, because it can just sit on the counter. It's not going to go bad at this point. It's just salt, sugar, water, and seasonings. Um, and that will stay. I can leave it right in my living room, even when it's hot out. Keep it out of the sun is the biggest thing. As cool as you can out of the sun. Lid on. Get up in the morning. There's still ice in there. It's icy cold. It's brined. I like to brine about 24 hours on like 8 or 9 pound butts. Pull them out, rinse them off, throw the brine away. It's got raw pork juices in it. It's no good for anything. Do not try to do anything else with it. Throw it away. Right down my sink. I can take it out in the backyard and dump it in the bushes. There's nothing in there's going to hurt anything. It's all food grade stuff. Rinse it off, pat it dry. Try to let them sit for 15 or 20 minutes to kind of dry up. Some sort of a binder, mustard, barbecue sauce, whatever. Rub them down, put my seasoning on them. Those things will go in at about 8 o'clock at night for like a noontime Saturday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock Saturday thing. They go all night at 180 to 200. When they hit around that temp, I pull them out, wrap them up in the butcher paper. I spray the butcher paper down on the inside with, I have some spray bottles, apple cider or apple juice or something like that works good. Excuse me. Wrap them up, put my probe back in, and either throw them on the smoker or in the oven at like 350. On the smoker, I crank it up to 350. And a lot of times I need the smoker for something else, so they go in the oven. And when that thing hits 210, I shut the oven off and I leave them right there. Open the door for a couple of minutes, minute or 2 or 3, let the majority of the heat out, close it, and walk away. It's still wrapped in like 3 layers of that heavy pink paper, it's called. It's a barbecue butcher's paper. You don't want the wax stuff. So, and I just let it sit, and not super long, but maybe another 15, 20 minutes. I pull it out, I shred it, I pull the bone out, obviously uncover it, unwrap it, shred it, any final seasoning I want, I taste test it. I buy they're the hotel steamer pans, they're a stainless steel pan. If you've been to like a buffet, they're the ones that sit down in, they bring out the trays of, whatever it is, mac and cheese or mashed potatoes or, chicken or whatever in there, and all the stuff I like to eat. Those things, you can buy them cheap online. I think I bought a 8-pack of them through Home Depot of all places online for $60. They were less than $10 a piece, and that you could buy like, I think you could buy, maybe not through them, but there was another company you could buy individuals one at a time, but they were like $10 a piece that way. So if you probably have a restaurant supply store near you, whether you know it or not, there's usually one in any decent size area. You can go in and buy them. You can order them on Amazon, whatever, and they're great. You just put I'll smoke in those. I'll have the things, the food right in it on the grill or on the smoker. I put things in that, wrap it up with heavy duty foil, throw it in my oven at 175 to keep it warm. Get out there and do some grilling, guys. Learn it. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be rocket science. Watch YouTube videos. Ask for a video showing how to do some of this shit, and I'll gladly, next time I'm making it, sit down and make it. And I cooking some. What did I get all over the front of my shirt? I just noticed that. I think I spilt some of this or something. I just realized there's something all over the front of me. Yep, I think I spilt some of this. I brought it down and sloshed some because I'm sloppy like that. My wife begs me to do chicken out on the smoker a lot of times. She loves it. I do Mexican street corn. If you want vegetables, man, the smoker turns vegetables into really, really nice. I like mushrooms. I like peppers. I like onions. Corn on the cob. Soak them. Kind of open up the husk a little bit. Just dunk them so that the stem part is sticking out in a bowl or a bucket, clean bucket of water. Just plain water. Really what you're trying to do is get the husks wet. Pull them back. At that point in time, I like to pull the floss off when I can. Dry them off. Rub them down with butter or whatever you want to use. If you want to use something other than butter. Butter, a nice seasoning on there. Salt, pepper is fine. Whatever you like, a little barbecue seasoning. Cajun seasoning, a cayenne pepper, whatever. Close the husk up and try to get it closed up some. Fire up your smoker or even a grill. You can do it just on a regular grill. Lay them in there. Probably about 250 degrees, 300 degrees. Close the lid. Every 3-4 minutes, go and rotate that. about quarter of a turn. Keep doing it. It's going to start smelling like popcorn, and it's almost going to start smelling like burnt popcorn. You'll know when it's done. You can feel it. Once that gets hot in there, pull it out, leave them covered, put them in a pan, cover it in tinfoil tight while it's hot. Set it aside. It's going to finish steaming a little bit. Oh my God, is it so good that way? Uh, there isn't anything you can't cook on that smoker. You can do pizzas. Mine gets up to 525 degrees. You can do a damn pizza in that. Hell, you could bake a cake in the damn thing. I love it. I recommend it. The Traeger has some nice features, and if you can afford it and easily afford it, the Traeger may be the way to go. A lot of people are like, well, with my Traeger, I've got a Bluetooth and it right to my phone. I'm like, yeah, you paid $400 more than I did, and I have the same thing by spending $38 at Walmart for one. You know, and if it that piece craps out, I throw it away and I go spend another $38 and buy another one. If the Bluetooth part of your Traeger craps out, that's all built in probably as one big computer controlled unit, and it's probably $200. Now you're still going to be stuck buying a $38 one. They have some advantages. I'm not going to lie, but you pay a lot of money for the name. I would love to try a Traeger. I don't own one. I know a few guys that do. I haven't had a chance to use theirs, but they said they are really nice, but they were really expensive. 5 years, this one's going strong. I haven't had to replace any components. Cleaning them's a little bit of a bitch sometimes. Get a big plastic tub that will hold water. Buy the bottles of the commercial degreaser, the food grade. It's for grills, um, ovens, fryolators. Dump a bunch of that in. Some water from the garden hose. Let them soak overnight the next day. They'll scrape off, pressure wash, whatever. Clean them up. Throw everything back together on the smoker. Fire that thing up to about 400 and let it run for. It'll take a while to get to 400. Once it hits, I give it a couple minutes at 400 and I shut it off and walk away. It's going to kill off any bacteria or any. By then you've washed it, that should be gone. But it's going to dry it. It's going to get rid of any soap residue. And then the next time I'm ready to use it, I do the same idea. And I don't scrub it clean after every use. I don't wash it after every use. I burn it off. They can flare up at 180 to 200. I've never really had a flare up. It's when you all of a sudden go, okay, I want to crank it up now, and all that fat has dripped. That's when it can flare up. I was a firefighter. I know the technique. I literally have a cup of water, and if it flares up, I open the lid about that much, stand back, throw the water in, and shut the lid, and the steam puts it out. You don't open the lid again for 20 seconds. Open it slow. Yep. You got to be careful. You can start a fire. You can spread the grease. It can be a problem. If you know how to do it, it's fine. If you don't, well, get a CO2 fire extinguisher. That way you're not ruining your food. You're not ruining your smoker. They're more money. They're cheaper than the smoker. And they may even be cheaper than that $180 brisket that you had sitting on there. That you have 20 people showing up later that day to enjoy. And now you're buying, KFC or whatever. Because you just sprayed it all down with a dry chemical powder. Don't eat that stuff. Um, it's simple. It's easy. It brings the family together. We have a blast. I have people like, hey, when are you doing a cookout? Friends and family. I'll bring stuff. What do you want? Because they want to come over and they enjoy it. It's primitive. There's something kind of caveman-esque about it. Uh, man, I just love the damn thing. Any kind of grilling. Hey, doing it over an open fire is great. Like you get a nice fire pit. Just be careful. What are you burning? What had you been burning last weekend? Shit like that. Did I start my fire with used motor oil and kerosene and gasoline? And one of my favorites is the tiki torch oil with the citronella in it. It burns good. Kills some of the mosquitoes off too. It's not good for you, but probably not good for a lot of things. But you know, if you buy the bio brick things, some of them you can cook over, some you can't. know what you're doing when you're cooking over stuff. The pellets, I'll go out and buy. Like I said, they're like $8.99 to $9.99, depends. Sometimes on the time of year and stuff. For a 20-pound bag, most days I probably have 3 to 5 20-pound bags sitting in my garage. If you keep them dry, that's the biggest thing. You got to clean the pellets out of your smoker. You don't want to leave them in there too long, but because I use mine so much, I don't. Mine sits under a big tarp shelter that we have. It's a 10 by 20 that covers part of our deck, but it's right at the edge, so rain coming in does get into it. Those pellets will swell. That's the other problem with the Walmart ones is, you know, if you waved a cup of water next to them, they started to swell. The Cabela's brand ones have a shinier coating, and it seems to help prevent that. They also burn better, so I go through less of them than the cheap ones. So you don't need a lot of specialty stuff. I bought some. I literally went to Walmart. That's where that great grill. I can't remember the brand name of it. I'll have to look. That stuff comes in handy because they sell a lot of accessories. The spray bottles, about like that, clear spray bottle. I love those. The squeeze bottle, like almost like the ketchup squeeze bottle type things. I buy those from them. My grill brushes, things like that. I buy through them, and they're super handy to have. I miss things down as they're cooking sometimes. The squeeze ones, I found I like them better on my flat top. I'll have like a canola oil or peanut oil or whatever in there when I'm doing stuff, and I just need to a little more, um, lube on the grill so things don't stick so much. I can squirt some of that in there and kind of toss it in, and it's you can use olive oil, but depends on how hot your griddle is. Olive oil to me tastes funny if it gets too hot, and it will ignite easier. Um, there's this stuff called Bacon Up. Walmart carries it. Cabela's carries it. I'm sure there are a lot of other places that carry it. We've got a few others around here. And it's listed, you can buy it in a tub like that, or you can buy it in like a 5-gallon bucket. It may not be quite I think it's a 3-gallon bucket. And it is rendered and purified bacon fat. Hear me out. I'm not saying you eat this stuff with a spoon all day, okay, fellas? Some of us are portly. Frickin' fat's what I am. But you know what? A little goes a long ways. On the grill, you're doing up some steaks, you're doing up burgers, chicken, whatever. You put a little of that in, you're doing up your veggies. You know, I'll get to that in a minute. I just had a thought. That stuff's great. It really, really is. Home fries, whatever you're doing on the grill, perfect. You know what's great on the smoker? Pineapple. Pineapple spears. My Sam's Club, I gotta check Costco. I don't know if they carry it. Sam's Club. It's a glass container like that, and they're pineapple spears, and they're pretty good sized ones in pineapple juice, but it has coconut water in it too. And it's not a super strong coconut. It smells it almost at first, but it's not. It's just a hint in the background to me. Wow, are those good. Go ahead, put them on your smoker. While they're out, before you put them on, I take a little bit of butter, like 2 tablespoons, depends on how many I'm doing, tablespoon or so of butter, and honey, and just heat it up in the microwave till it gets thin enough that you can brush it. Let those things start going. When you turn it, brush it. Get that on there. Oh my God, is it freaking good. That hot with vanilla ice cream, oh my God. You don't need to know why I'm fat now. Cheers. There isn't anything you can't cook on it. I've done breakfast stuff. I have done dessert stuff. Peaches are good on it. Cut them, pit them, put them down. You got to put a little something else so they don't stick. You can get baskets that go in there instead of it being right on the grate. I have cooked in a cast iron Dutch oven in that thing. They use very, very little electricity. So you have this, it's called a cow rod. It's probably about the size of a pen. This is just a regular bit ballpoint pen kind of thing that sticks down into the hopper where the pellets come out of the main hopper and they drop into this little basket like thing that has a lever on the bottom to open to get the ash out. You got to reach up there and poke it for the ash to break out when you're done. Usually, let it cool because it's freaking hot. Um, it's called a cal rod. It's called a lot of things. If you know what a glow plug looks like in a diesel, it's the same idea. That gets red hot and ignites the pellets, and that uses about 1,100 watts of power. I know that sounds like a lot. Your microwave probably uses the same, and that thing runs for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half, depending on ambient temp and the moisture content of your pellets, really. So it's like turning your microwave on for a minute. Do we complain about the electric bill because we ran our microwave for a minute? No. Once that shuts off, with mine, the auger has to turn at 180 to 200 for 5 seconds and shuts off. 15 seconds later, for 5 seconds and shuts off. There's a fan that's constantly blowing, but it's a 12 volt. It's just like the fan. I'm touching my computer. I just realized you can't see it's out of shot. Um, it's like those fans there. They spin a little faster. Kind of like if you've ever had your PC or whatever. If you're really, um, was that overclocking? I guess they call it or whatever. When you're really playing some big games or doing heavy graphics, and the fans rev up, it's kind of like that, but not quite as annoyingly loud. And then you've got the brain of it that's on that saying, okay, I'm supposed to be at this temperature and I'm at this. What do I need to do? That stuff. When just those things are running, not the little cow rod, it's 4 to 7 watts of power. Mine typically seems to. Um, I think the manual said it was like right around 4 to 5 watts. Some are 7, some are 3. Depends on the brand. I did the math because I'm weird like that. In electricity, to run that thing here in the state of Maine, now this was a few years ago, before electricity rates really started going up more. We were never cheap. Maine's an expensive state for electricity, and we don't know why because we actually produce electricity here at hydropower. I think we still do. And we got wind farms and solar farms everywhere, but all our light bills just go up. Um, to run that for 12 hours was right around $2 in electricity. I don't run it for 12 hours every time. Normally it's, you know, 2, something like that. 3, whatever. It's pretty low numbers. Um, so it's not that bad. 12 hours, so you're going to spend like $2 on electricity. You might go through a $9 bag of pellets. So let's say you're into it for $11, not counting the food and the smoker. That's not bad. You get great taste. I know some people worry about all the health problems with the smoke and all of that stuff, and maybe there's something there. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, and you know all that fun stuff. Um, Having talked to my doctor, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man," he says, "I've got one. I use it all the frickin' time." My old doctor, one of them that I used to see. He wasn't mine. He was when mine was out of the office, and I'd see that guy. But anyways, he's like, "Thing's great." So I love it. So he didn't seem concerned about it. So I would get one. Father's Day is coming. Now, remember, if you didn't buy your wife, girlfriend, mother of your children, significant other, whatever, a really nice Mother's Day gift, and then you turn around and ask for a $400 smoker and the accessories, you're probably not going to get it. I know, but it's a trade-off. And they got to be 1 month right after the other. Save your pennies and get one. Get a smaller one. You can get some smaller ones for like 2 something. Do your research, do your homework, check them out online, look at the multiple websites and stuff like that. Amazon has them. Get a decent pellet smoker. I promise you, you can't go wrong as long as you use your brain. I know we've got one up here. Use it and just experiment and play. If you're like, I don't know if this recipe's going to work for this chicken, buy a couple of cheap pieces of chicken and try it. If you're smoking chicken, I always brine them, especially if they're going for any length of time. Bone in, skin on. One reason for that, especially if it's like a 2-hour smoke, They'll dry right the hell out. The skin helps protect it from drying out. A lot of times the skin isn't very good afterwards. It just isn't. It gets rubbery and tough. Now you can save that skin, slice it up, wrap it up, put it in a freezer bag, things like that, get the air out of it, throw it in your freezer. And when you're going to make chicken stock or chicken stew, you take it out and throw it in. It rehydrates, it gets a lot of flavor out, and then you spoon it out or leave it in. It just kind of dissolves if you cook it long enough, mostly. So I like thighs because they don't dry out. Thighs and drumsticks. I've done chicken breasts, but you really, really got to brine those, and keep. That's where the spray bottle comes in handy too, and turn them often. Anyways, you can do it. I have faith in you. Um, and if maybe you buy your own Father's Day gift, well, that's fine too. But you can also tell her, hey, look, honey, I know it's Father's Day, but it's for the family. I can go out there, I can cook a meal. Your parents can come over if you know. Hey, we gotta make sacrifices, right? My mother-in-law lives here, so she's here anyways. I wish my father-in-law was still living here. He's sadly passed away now too. So friends can come over. Your sister, if you know, you know. My wife doesn't have a sister. I do. Anyways, things like that. And then your buddies can come over. It's great on game day. Really great on game day. Wings on that thing are amazing. Sausages, you name it. So, think smoker for Father's Day. Get a pellet smoker. Get a few different things. Buy some cheap ingredients. Watch some YouTube videos. Uh, Meat Church, they're a good one. Those guys are bougie sometimes. No offense. They make products and they're selling their products. Um, oh, I can't think of the name of the other one that I watch. You'll find them. Pellet Smoker on YouTube. Uh, Pellet Smoker recipes, cooking vids for pellet smokers, things like that. You will find a ton of them out there. I don't think he uses a pellet smoker much, but Cowboy Kent Rollins. Follow him. Good man, really good man. He is a chuck wagon cook in like Oklahoma and Texas, all around there, and literally has an old chuck wagon and cooks out on the range for dude ranches, for actual working ranches. I think you can hire him for like weddings and stuff. I don't know. He's an older gentleman, not old, but I mean I don't know how old Kent is. 60 maybe. So I don't know for sure. But, oh my God, really really nice guy, amazing cook. He's won competitions, but that's not his thing. His line is you can't get full on fancy, but man, I've got some great recipes off him. So yeah, and I know some really really good recipes like the um, pork belly cinnamon rolls. Don't tell your cardiologist about it. That's all I gotta say. Get one. You'll enjoy it. Father's Day is coming. A little over a month. You'll thank me later. This video's long again. I will talk to you later. Behave. The more you behave, maybe she'll get you that nice smoker. We'll see you soon. Bye.